So let's set up DCM to detect the null values in these SMS certificates. We need a general configuration item, so let's create that now. We call this detect null value in certificate. Config manager client certificate. There you go. Put that in the clipboard and we can reuse that later. Skip through here, create a script, call it the same. I just need to get the script, so if we just pop here, simple script that I've created, and I'll put that on the website. Okay, now the output from the script is either a yes or a no. So if the certificate's found, then the script will come back with a yes. If there's no nulls in the certificate, we get a no back. Now to tie that into DCM, we just need to go to the validation tab, choose a new configuration validation item, just keep the default text, title or name, and just say in here, for it to be compliant it has to come back with no. And that's it. CI has been done. Aside from setting this up, x86 clients only, obviously, because of the 32-bit limitation. Let's create a baseline, put that CI in there. That's one that we just created. Done. Now let's assign that to a collection. Keep a simple schedule because we're going to manipulate execution anyway. So we have a new CI and a new baseline, and that's been assigned to the collection here, and that has this actual site servers client added, so we can pretty much play around at will. So if we just bring up the applet configurations, see there's none in there at the moment, so let's just update that. Okay, baseline shown up on the client, so let's evaluate now. But before we do, let's just have a little look to see what the status of compliance is now. It hasn't run before, so we've got an unknown compliance state. So we click evaluate, get that underway. You see that the script's been executed by DCM agent and it's come back with a non-compliant status. If we just check out the report, click there. Scroll down to the bottom, you see the validation failures. And you see that it was a script that was run and that it came back with the yes output, and that breached the validation. That made it non-compliant. So we just close that. Now that we have a way of detecting if there are null values in the certificates, let's get the KB977203 patch put onto the site server. But first let's unpack it, check out what's in there. I've already downloaded it, so what we just need to do is run that through MSI exec. And there we are. You see that we have CCM cert fix, which is the tool that we're going to use later on to manually remove the null values. There's a few other files in here that kind of give away why a site reset is going to be required once we install this patch. So let's actually install the patch onto the site server. At this point, you can allow the installer to create a package containing the client installation files and this patch, as well as the program and the command line, or you can skip this and do them yourself, or if you have them already, just update them. So let's just click next through that, and now we're done. What we should be checking is the site comp log just to see what's happening with that site reset. You can see it's busy now, working its way through. Okay, now the site reset is completed. It has reinstalled the management point, so let's health check that, make sure that the clients, if there are any, can access this server. Yep, that's good. So that's the site server patched. Even though it is patched, the site server's client's self-signed certificates will still have the null values in, so we need to clear those. And just to confirm that, we'll run the script manually, see if we get a yes or a no. Yep, it's come back with a yes, so we know that the certificates are still faulty. And we also have a new folder in the client installation area. There we go, and the MSP. That needs to be applied to all the clients. The reason being is it stamps the version of the client, and it also fixes generation of certificates so that they don't produce any null values anymore. And the way that you can get that patch onto the clients is via either OSD task sequence, where you can apply the patch equals MSI parameter, or you can advertise it to all of your clients and get MSI to install it as a patch for the client. That still leaves you with certificates that have null in there, and the way to fix those is to use the CCM cert fix utility that comes with the patch. If we just pop back to the source folder and have a look at the unpacked files, we'll see we've got CCM cert fix. Now you can deploy CCM cert fix as a software distribution package to all your clients, and that should remove the null value from all the certificates. So to carry on, I'm going to fix the certificates on the site server's client. Two out of two certificates were fixed. Now if we rerun the detection script, we should get a no back. Perfect. And if we come back to DCM on the client, you see we have a state of non-compliance. If we just re-evaluate now, you'll now see after the evaluation that this client becomes compliant for that baseline. So we've pretty much now got a way of telling whether or not 32-bit clients have issues with their certificates and who still needs to be a candidate for a CCM cert fix. After the evaluation, you'll now see that this machine is compliant. So we've become compliant for this baseline. In a moment we'll check out the DCM reports, but before we do, I just wanted to mention that I keep referring to our 32-bit limitation. It's a self-induced one because I chose Capcom to get access to the certificate store via scripting. There are alternative ways, and as a result you should be able to reach into the SMS store and interrogate the certificates like I have. Keep in mind that I'm using DCM to do something exotic here. Okay, let's check out the DCM reports for this baseline that we've created. Here we go. As you can see, we have two machines being advertised to, and one is compliant and one is non-compliant. Now if we drill into this baseline report, we get to see who is and who isn't. There we go. So the new client introduced to this session is non-compliant, whereas the site server we've been working on and showing CCM certfix to have run on is compliant. So what I'll do now is I'll switch over to the other VM, config manager 1, and we'll fix him up, and then we'll check out the reports and see how things go. And here's the non-compliant client. As you can see, the baseline's been run already and it's returned a non-compliant status. And if we just confirm that by running the script, we're getting a yes back. So null values have been found on this client. Let's quickly fix that. Just running CCM certfix. 2 have been fixed. If we run the script, we get a no. And if we do a new evaluation, we get a status of compliant back. Now this will feed up to the site server its client's assigned to, and eventually get back to the site that you're running the reports from. So let's go back to our site server and see the update taking place there. Back at the site server, we now see that both clients have reported a compliant state. Now let's go through the requirements to get all of this put together. Obviously we're going to need CapyCom, so that's a COM class object and it needs to be registered and usable on your clients, and currently CapyCom is only supported on Windows XP, Windows 2000, Windows Vista and Windows Server 2008. If for some reason it's not registered on those clients, then you can simply go to the SMS folder, the admin UI, the bin, and if you have a look you should see CapyCom DLL sitting there, and all we need to do is run register32 CapyCom and register that on those supported clients. Then the script will run. Without this COM object we're just going to stop dead, and because of CapyCom being a 32-bit DLL and DCM running in 64-bit space, we're going to have problems accessing our 64-bit clients. So this is not a complete solution, but I'm hoping to, what I'm showing you here is how to use DCM in novel ways and looking at scripts to interrogate clients to return values that you can evaluate on. The whole patch 977.203 is really just icing on the cake really, and if you really want to look into that you should go and read the KB article and the README files that are in the unpacked MSI itself for ways to roll the MSP out and to run CCM certfix. But I've pretty much shown you what's needed. To wrap up, I'm going to take you into the console and show you how to perform auto remediation. Before I do that, I'll show you that I've brought one of the clients back to a non-compliant state so that we've got something to play with in the collections, something that appears in the queries. So let's go and check out the console. I have a collection here with a query, and you can see that a single client's being brought back, and that's a non-compliant client. And if we take a look at the query, we'll see why. You can see it's looking in this WMI class and it's looking for a non-compliant state for our baseline. Now I'm going to come out of there and take you into Notepad, have it broken down and easy to read. As you can see, here's the class I just referred to, and here are the 2 variables it's looking for: non-compliant on compliant state name and localized display name equaling that. Now that query has enabled us to pretty much perform auto remediation. To finish off this story, all we need to do is go to traditional software distribution, create our CCM certfix package program for executing the executable, and assign it to this collection. And as clients run this baseline and return a non-compliant state, the advertisement will fire off and they will be patched. You could run that query in WebMTest and get the same kind of result that's coming back on that collection. Just show you that. I've already prepared the query. This one is looking for non-compliant on our baseline. If we run that, we get our single client back. Remember, you could connect remotely. Okay, let's fix our last client. Again, again. Let's just create an advertisement. And as the option, we will choose a collection with the query that's looking at the baseline's results. Going to force this. There we go. I'll just switch over now. This is the non-compliant client, and we're advertising to this machine. So let's see if we can collect that advertisement. Okay, fire it off. Just check to see if that's run. Hey, change of state. And if we go back to DCM and reevaluate that baseline, compliant. That state's heading back to the site server where we'll return now. And now we update the collection, rerun the query. Okay, go back to the report and we see why that client's disappeared from the collection. Because it's compliant. Our client has been automatically remediated. And as you can see, DCM is quite powerful, and with the ability to launch scripts you can evaluate almost anything. Well, thanks for watching. It's a pleasure showing.